Continuing to track that flooding potential, of course, many spots all across the low country seeing just that. We saw it there just moments ago in North Charleston with that flooding, and of course, any additional rainfall. It is not helping the matter either. Looking live outside into West Ashley, at least the one very small positive thing with the rainfall, all of the green out there in the marsh really helping out with that drought. But of course, way too much water. We're still tracking more rain on the way as the center of Debby kind of just almost stalls. It is coming to a crawl as this center moves closer to our coastline there. You can see that circulation of Debby just wrapping around moisture, the outer rim of that system. And that's what's continuing to bring us that rainfall. That's why the flooding potential is sticking around. So we're not out of the woods yet. By this time tomorrow, we'll definitely start to see some improving conditions. So some good news there at least. Still have that flash flood warning in effect for parts of Colleton and Dorchester counties. This is through 9:45 into the evening. Also for parts of Clarendon and Orangeburg until about 5:45. So we're seeing that heavy rain move inland right now. A few days ago, it was right along the coastline, so it's exactly what we're expecting to happen as this system moves closer to our area once again. Still tracking that actual landfall later on tonight. You can see that moisture wrapping around the system. We have already seen over a foot of water in many spots. More rain on the way through the night, so just keep that in mind. Trouble tracker as we move throughout the rest of the day. This is actually a new map here from the National Hurricane Center. Our 5 o'clock advisory back up to a 60-mile-per-hour strength storm. As you can see, it's moving north-northeast at a slow speed of 3 miles per hour. Such a slow-moving storm. Once again, that's the main reason why we're seeing this intense flooding situation across the area, not only for today and tomorrow, but even into the weekend as we see all of this rainfall move downstream through our river system. But once again, just stay weather aware as we move throughout the next day. One more day of Debby before we can finally, I think, take a nice sigh of relief. And you can see here, future tracker spinning the center of Debby onshore into the night. So once again, more rain expected overnight, often on scattered showers as these bands wrap around the area. Within the bands, we could actually see more heavy pockets of rainfall. Like I mentioned, tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see a lot of dry air wrap into this system and eventually start to dry out on Friday. Start to dry out. That's an important phrase. We'll still see some leftover rain from those outer bands, but all in all, the worst finally behind us as we reach the end of the week. Once again, top impacts. That's additional rainfall already on top of the flooding that we're seeing in some spots. 2 to 4 inches of rain possible still for a few areas across the low country. Also some gusty wind. Like I mentioned earlier, really Debby hasn't been a major wind event, but any sort of breeze or gust that we feel can take a tree down with a saturated ground. There's been water literally sitting on top of ground for days in some spots. So just think about that. Still keep everything prepared for possible power outages as we see this heavy moisture continuing. Storm surge, not a major factor at the moment, but we'll keep a close eye on that. Once again, a flood watch remains in effect as we move throughout the next few days, finally, before we start to wave goodbye to Debby. Still in our backyard, of course, literally. This weekend, temperatures warming back up, feeling more like summer as we start to clear out a little bit. Kind of that typical pop-up storm chance returning into our afternoons. That's it for your forecast. Let's get a check.